Your bank made $15.4 billion in fees last year. Not from loans, not from investments, just from you not knowing what you were paying for. Banks are not charities. They are businesses. And fee revenue, not interest, not investment returns, is one of the most profitable lines on their income statement. It requires no lending risk, no market exposure. It simply requires that their customers don't read the fine print. The average American pays between $150 and $250 a year in bank fees they didn't intentionally choose to pay. That number compounds over a lifetime. 40 years of unnecessary bank fees invested instead at the market average would be worth over $30,000. The banks count on one thing, that you will never sit down and actually understand what each fee is when it applies and how to make it disappear. That is what this video is. Key insight. Bank fees are not punishments. They are contractual terms you agreed to, and most of them can be eliminated or avoided once you know the trigger. Knowledge is literally money here. 7 fees. The first one charges you simply for having money in the bank, and most people have no idea they're paying it. The monthly maintenance fee. This is the fee that surprises people most because it requires absolutely nothing to trigger it. No mistakes, no transactions, no overdrafts. Just having a checking account at the wrong bank or the right bank but the wrong account type. Monthly maintenance fees typically run between $10 and $25 a month. That is between $120 and $300 a year for the privilege of keeping your money in their building. The numbers. Average monthly maintenance fee, $13.47. Annual cost at that rate, $161.64. Over 30 years invested at 7%, $17,440. You paid $17,000 in a lifetime for nothing. Every major bank offers a pathway to waive this fee. The most common conditions are maintaining a minimum daily balance, typically $500 to $1,500, receiving a qualifying direct deposit each month, or holding a linked account such as a savings account or mortgage with the same institution. The critical word there is maintaining, not depositing, maintaining. If your balance dips below the threshold on a single day of the billing cycle, the fee applies. Not for the whole month. The entire month's fee triggers from one day below the line. Watch out! Some banks use average daily balance rather than minimum daily balance. These are calculated differently. Average daily balance is more forgiving. One low day does not automatically trigger the fee. Always check which method your bank uses. The move, log into your bank account right now and search your statement for monthly service fee or maintenance fee. If you find one, call the number on the back of your card and ask what the waiver conditions are. Most frontline bankers are authorized to waive up to 3 months of fees as a courtesy for customers who simply ask. Then set up the qualifying direct deposit or maintain the minimum balance to eliminate it permanently. Monthly maintenance fee, eliminated. The next one targets people who don't have enough money in their account, and it charges them more for it. The overdraft fee. The overdraft fee is the most controversial bank fee in America, and it has been for 15 years. Consumer protection agencies, Congress, and the CFPB have all scrutinized it. Multiple banks have reduced or eliminated it, and yet it still costs American consumers over $11 billion a year. Here is the mechanics. You have $15 in your checking account. You buy a $20 item. Your bank pays the transaction, covering the $5 shortfall, and then charges you $20 to $35 for doing so, often the same day, sometimes multiple times per day. The numbers. Average overdraft fee, $26.61. Some banks charge up to $35. Many allow up to 5 overdraft fees per day, a maximum daily charge of $175 for running out of money. The most damaging pattern, which banks have been widely criticized for, is transaction reordering. Historically, some banks processed the largest transactions first, which depleted the balance fastest and maximized the number of overdraft fees. Regulatory pressure has largely curtailed the most aggressive versions of this practice, but the underlying fee structure remains. There are 3 ways to completely eliminate overdraft fees. Option 1. Opt out of overdraft coverage entirely. If you opt out, the bank declines the transaction rather than covering it. You may face embarrassment at the checkout. You will not face a $35 fee. Option 2. Link a savings account as overdraft protection. The bank transfers from your savings to cover shortfalls. The transfer fee, if any, is typically $5 to $12, far less than the overdraft fee. Option 3. Switch to a bank that has eliminated overdraft fees entirely. Several major banks and most credit unions have done this in the last 3 years. Watch out! Overdraft protection loans are a different product. Some banks offer a line of credit that activates when you overdraft. This charges interest, not a flat fee, but the APR can be extremely high on small amounts. Read the terms before opting in. The move: go to your online banking settings and look for overdraft settings or overdraft coverage. Opt out if you want the hard limit, or link a savings account for the softer safety net. If your bank charges more than $15 per overdraft and offers no waiver pathway, compare checking accounts at credit unions and online banks. Several offer zero overdraft fees. Overdraft fees defeatable in 3 minutes. Next, the fee that charges you every time you use your own money at the wrong machine. The ATM fee. The ATM fee is actually 2 separate fees that apply simultaneously, and most people only notice one of them. Fee 1. Your bank charges you for using an ATM that is not in their network. This is called the out-of-network fee and typically runs between $2 and $3.50 per withdrawal. Fee 2. The company that owns the ATM charges you a surcharge for using their machine. This typically runs between $2.50 and $5. Use an out-of-network ATM once, and you have paid between $4.50 and $8.50 to access your own money. Do that twice a week for a year, and you have spent between $468 and $884 in ATM fees. The numbers: average combined ATM fee, out-of-network charge plus ATM surcharge, $4.73 per withdrawal. Twice weekly, $491.92 per year. Monthly coffee budget for most Americans, $111. ATM fees for frequent out-of-network users often exceed their coffee spend. The solution is almost always structural rather than behavioral. It is not use the ATM less, it is use the right ATM or the right bank. Most credit unions belong to the Co-op network, over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide. Online banks such as Schwab, Ally, and Chime reimburse all ATM fees globally, including the third-party surcharge. And most major banks have ATM locator tools in their apps so you can find in-network machines before you need cash. The move: download your bank's app and locate their ATM finder. Save 2 or 3 in-network ATM locations near where you regularly need cash. If your bank reimburses no out-of-network ATM fees and has poor network coverage in your area, this is one of the strongest reasons to switch banks. Schwab's checking account reimburses all ATM fees worldwide, no cap. ATM fees are geography problems with geographic solutions. Now the fee nobody expects, charged not for spending money, but for keeping too little of it. The minimum balance fee. This one is closely related to the monthly maintenance fee, but deserves its own chapter because it operates differently and catches people in a specific, predictable trap. A minimum balance fee triggers when your account falls below a defined threshold. Not for the month, but on a specific measurement date. Many banks check your balance on the last day of the statement period. Others check the average across all days. The difference matters enormously. The trap: you maintain a healthy balance most of the month, have one large payment go out near the end of the cycle, a rent check, a quarterly insurance payment, a large purchase, and your balance drops below the threshold on measurement day. Full fee applies, even though your average balance was comfortably above the threshold for 28 of 30 days. The numbers: minimum balance requirements at major banks range from $300 to $1,500. Falling below these thresholds triggers fees of $12 to $25 per month. At a $1,500 required minimum balance, you are essentially lending the bank $1,500 interest-free in exchange for fee waiver. At current high-yield savings account rates of 4 to 5%, that $1,500 parked at the bank and not in a high-yield account costs you $60 to $75 per year in lost interest. The opportunity cost framing is important here. The minimum balance requirement is not just about avoiding fees, it is about the interest you are giving up by parking money in a zero-yield checking account instead of a high-yield savings account. Watch out! Many accounts have both a monthly maintenance fee waiver condition and a separate minimum balance fee. Read your fee schedule carefully. These can be different thresholds triggered by different calculations. The move: check your account's fee schedule. It is in your original account agreement or under fees in your online banking portal. Note the minimum balance threshold and how it is measured. If it is a daily minimum, set a balance alert at a comfortable buffer above the threshold. If the required minimum is $1,500 or more, seriously consider whether a high-yield checking account with no minimum would serve you better. 4 fees down. The next one is triggered by something almost everyone does at least once: sending money to the wrong account and needing to get it back. The wire transfer fee. A wire transfer is the direct movement of money from one bank account to another, typically used for large transactions like real estate closings, business payments, or large international transfers. The fees are significant and asymmetric. Sending is expensive, receiving is cheaper but not free, and international wires carry an additional layer of currency conversion costs that most people never see itemized. Domestic outgoing wires run between $25 and $35 at most major banks. International outgoing wires run between $35 and $50. And then there are correspondent bank fees, which are charged by intermediate banks that route the wire. These are not disclosed up front. They can add another $10 to $40 on top of your origination fee, and they are deducted from the transferred amount rather than charged separately, so you send $1,000 internationally. The recipient receives $870. Nobody told you about the $30 correspondent fee. This is one of the most legitimate consumer complaints in retail banking. The numbers: average domestic wire fee, $30 outgoing; average international wire fee, $45 outgoing plus $15 to $40 in undisclosed correspondent fees. A real estate closing requiring 2 wire transfers costs $60 to $70 in fees alone before money moves. The alternatives are genuinely better for most use cases. Zelle, Venmo, and ACH transfers handle domestic payments with 0 fees. For international transfers, Wise, formerly TransferWise, offers mid-market exchange rates with transparent fees that are typically 70 to 90% cheaper than bank wire fees. Watch out! Wire transfers are irreversible. Once sent, the funds cannot be recalled without the recipient's cooperation. This makes wire transfers the preferred method for fraud. If you receive an urgent request to wire money to an unfamiliar account, from anyone, including someone claiming to be your bank, a lawyer, or a family member, verify the request through a separate, independently confirmed channel before sending anything. The move: for domestic transfers, use Zelle if both parties have US bank accounts. It is free, instant, and supported by almost every major bank. For international transfers, open a Wise account. The fee transparency alone is worth the 15-minute setup. Reserve wire transfers for situations where they are legally required: real estate closings, some business transactions, and budget for the fee explicitly. Wire fees eliminated where possible, now the one that sneaks onto statements looking like nothing until you add it up over a year. The paper statement fee. This is the smallest fee on this list. It is also the most avoidable in under 60 seconds. Most banks charge between $1 and $3 a month to mail you a paper copy of your statement. That is between $12 and $36 a year for a service you almost certainly do not need. The migration to e-statements is one of the bank's most efficient cost reductions ever executed. They convinced customers to pay for the privilege of receiving less service. And yet millions of accounts still have paper statements enabled by default. The numbers: average paper statement fee, $2 per month. Annual cost, $24. Customers who have never changed their statement preference since opening the account, estimated 35% of checking account holders. The fix is genuinely 60 seconds. Log into your online banking, find statement preferences, switch to electronic. The paper statements stop, the fee stops. You can access all historical statements digitally at any time. Watch out. Before switching to e-statements, make sure you have a reliable email address associated with your account and that you will actually check it. Banks send critical notices, fraud alerts, rate changes, account term updates by the statement delivery method you select. Switching to e-statements and then not monitoring your email creates a different kind of risk. The move: log in right now, navigate to settings or account preferences, find statement delivery or paper statements, switch to electronic. Takes 60 seconds, saves you up to $36 a year indefinitely, 6 fees down. The last one is the most recent addition to the fee schedule, and it specifically targets the growing number of people who almost never use a traditional branch. The Inactivity Fee, also called the dormancy fee. This is the fee most people have never heard of, and it is the one that tends to drain accounts people have forgotten they have. An inactivity fee is charged when an account has no customer-initiated transactions, no deposits, no withdrawals, no transfers, for a defined period. The threshold varies by bank but is typically 12 to 24 months of inactivity. The fee typically runs between $5 and $20 per month once triggered, and it continues until the balance is exhausted or the account is formally closed. The scenarios where this causes real harm: an old savings account opened years ago with a few $100s in it, a joint account from a previous relationship that nobody formally closed, a bank account from a state you used to live in, a student account you forgot about after graduation. The numbers: average inactivity fee, $10 to $20 per month. A $200 savings account with a $15 per month inactivity fee, fully depleted in 13 months. The bank keeps the remainder under unclaimed property laws in most states. Though these funds are eventually transferable to the state, the process to reclaim them takes months. There is an additional legal dimension. After a longer period of dormancy, typically 3 to 5 years depending on the state, the bank may be required to transfer the funds to the state under unclaimed property laws. The money is not lost permanently, but recovering it requires filing a claim with your state's unclaimed property office, which is a bureaucratic process most people never know to initiate. Watch out! Every state has an unclaimed property database. If you have ever had a bank account, investment account, or utility deposit that you lost track of, search your name at your state's official unclaimed property site. Billions of dollars sit in these databases waiting to be claimed. Some people find hundreds of dollars they forgot they had. The move: search your name at missingmoney.com, the official multi-state unclaimed property database. Do this once a year for existing accounts you barely use. Make one small transaction every 6 months. A $1 transfer in or out is enough to reset the inactivity clock. For accounts you no longer need, close them formally through the bank rather than just stopping use. 7 fees. Here is the complete picture. Monthly maintenance fee, find the waiver condition and meet it, or switch banks. Overdraft fee. Opt out, link a savings account, or bank somewhere that has eliminated it. ATM fee, use in-network machines or bank with Schwab and pay $0 anywhere. Minimum balance fee, set a balance alert, or stop parking money in zero-yield accounts. Wire transfer fee, use Zelle for domestic, Wise for international. Reserve wires for legal requirements only. Paper statement fee, switch to e-statements right now, 60 seconds. Inactivity fee, search missingmoney.com once a year. Make one transaction on dormant accounts every 6 months. That card is on screen long enough to screenshot. Do it. Here is what I want you to do in the next 10 minutes. Pull up your last 3 bank statements. Go through every single line item. Write down every fee charge you find. Then open this video's chapters and match each one. By the end of that 10 minutes, you will know exactly how much your bank has been charging you, and you will have a specific move for each one. In the comments, tell me which fee you found on your statement that you did not know you were paying. I read every single one. It shapes what I cover next. If this video helped, subscribe. Every week this channel publishes one complete financial breakdown. No fluff, no agenda, just the complete picture. And if you know someone who banks somewhere they have never actually examined the fees, send them this. It could save them $200 a year for the rest of their life. Coming up, every credit card fee explained. The 6 fees banks build into their most profitable product. It pairs directly with this video. That is right here. Now it makes sense.